That's as far as we're gonna take it in two-wheel drive. The snow suddenly got deep. I think I crossed over into the freezing level. This might be the limit for the Vanagon. Luckily, I come prepared out into these situations, so we're gonna throw some chains on and see if we can keep going, get ourselves into a camp spot. The chains are on, the van is now in beast mode, and we're out in the wilderness. Just a moment ago, there was a nice big fat coyote that ran across the road, which is a reminder that we're not alone up here in the woods. Nature's here. There's maybe about 10 inches of snow here on the road, which means we're gonna have this place to ourselves if we can get back into the camp spot that I want to get to. Super stoked, guys. Welcome aboard. I can't express to you how gorgeously beautiful this is. I had to stop and step out and just take this in for just a moment. Having the whole entire place to ourselves, it's like being in a winter wonderland. Nothing but the roar of the river, which is right behind me, and that's my goal, is to get down there and get a camp spot out there. But for once, the snow is not coming down. It's actually a beautiful blue sky day after a fresh snow. This is gonna make for some great camping, but I just wanted to step out and share this with you guys. Look at this. I'd also like to take this opportunity to remind you that this 1991 Volkswagen Vanagon Westfalia is a two-wheel drive. And it's rear-wheel drive. I've got all-terrain tires on there, and most of the time that gets me into some pretty good situations. Today I went ahead and chained up because we are getting deep into some snow, and this thing is a beast. Two-wheel drive. You just got to be smart about it, you got to be prepared, but it'll get you a lot of places. That is one thing that I love about these Vanagons, is that they are very, very capable. It gets me out here to a lot of amazing places, and over the years that I've owned it since 2010, I cannot express to you the experiences that this van has taken me to, and I'm very, very thankful for it. It is definitely a very interesting relationship that this thing and I have. This thing's a champion. There's nothing that I love more than to get out into the wilderness, push the limits of my equipment, push the limits of the van, but more importantly, to push the limits of myself. And I know that many of you wonder why, what's the point of this? What's the point of going out and being cold up in the wilderness? But it's to push your limits. Because getting out here and getting lost, that's when you're going to find yourself. We're getting so deep in the snow that the undercarriage is actually starting to scrape on the snow. I'd say it's probably a good 12 inches at least, possibly even more, especially for the fact that it's starting to push snow with the van. This is gonna be great, guys. I'm really stoked on this. Okay, that was a mistake right there. I thought I was going to be living in a ditch for a night. I need to start removing these trees out of the way instead of going around them. Snow's getting deep. It is now all about momentum, and I can't afford to get off the main road. Can't do it. And shit, we got a tree across the road. That's a problem. But thinking ahead, thinking of the possibilities of what could happen, and then deciding what tools you can prepare yourself with, then you start to come out into these situations with the tools that you need, being prepared. Of course, a chainsaw would make easy work of this, but as you can imagine, trying to live in a small van like a Vanagon and carry a chainsaw around is not going to be possible. Let's take a look at a tool that I've got that I think we might be able to get ourselves through this with. This is a tool that I carry under the back seat of my van. As you can see, it's fairly compact. It's got a shoulder strap that I can throw over my shoulder, and this thing I can march out into the woods. But what's inside it is more important. So what we've got here is what they call a 21-inch boreal saw. And this thing is a bow saw that folds into position like this. So you go from something that'll store under your back seat that you can throw over your shoulder and head out into the woods, and then you've got a very capable, sturdy saw for getting ourselves through situations like this. It looks to me like the pressure of the tree is leaning that way. I don't really know what it's caught up on. Oh, okay, so we know it's going this way, so I'm going to cut from the top down. Okay, we want to be careful in this situation because we can hear that's under pressure. The last thing we want this thing to do is spring up. So I'm going to keep an eye on it. Got some pressure. Whew! And that is what you want to be aware of. Let that be a lesson on cutting trees. Assess the situation, know where your pressures are lying. Thanks to this guy, that right there is $60 well spent just in this situation. Pretty cool unit. If you get out and do stuff like this, you should definitely consider getting yourself one, because it could save your ass someday. Son of a... So close. Ah, this is a mess. There's no way I'd get through this. Ah, damn it. Look at this. There's no way. That's where the road continues on over there. There's a multitude of large trees down here. This one being the biggest. That thing's a monster. The sad part is, right there is the entrance to the camp spot. And the road that I want to take is right down there. I hate coming so far just to be held up by this. I don't know. Maybe I can make something work. That's the first major obstacle out of the way. Got a wee ways to go though. Whew! That's a lot of work. Definitely getting the workout. I think I've got it cleared down all the way down to the biggest culprit. So I'm gonna work on the smaller end down here. See if I can get through that, and then see if this will budge at all. It's a good thing we got an early start. Otherwise we wouldn't have had a chance of getting through this. That's some tough wood right there. I tell you what though, it's really good to be out here, to be honest with you. Even just stopping to work on this, it makes you slow down a little bit and gives you a good workout. It's this kind of stuff that'll keep you young. Nothing like a little adventure out here in the woods. All because of this guy. This guy right here. It's all his fault. Alright, back to work. This tree isn't going to cut itself. That's for sure. Holy shit, guys. I feel like a freaking beaver right now. I guess we can use this as an analogy for life. That's actually what I've been thinking as I've been chipping away at this. If you keep chipping away at it and you keep making forward progress and you focus your energy at the core, that eventually you're going to get through it. And that's the way I feel like life has been the last little while. You just got to keep chipping away. Keep focused on the goal and where you want to go. We're going to get to that damn camp spot. Chip by chip. Ugh. Yeah! Woo! We get this out of here, I think we're in good shape. Whew! Well, I know what so many of y'all are thinking right now. Why go through all this trouble just to get to a camping spot? And I tell you what, any challenge that lays before you, like we've been talking about, there is certainly some sort of lesson. What if this was a situation where we were trying to get out and a tree fell across the road, or in this case, many trees, and our survival depended on getting through it so we could get back to civilization. So, just to get out to a camp spot, the way I look at it is I want to use this to give myself any sort of confidence that when it does come to a life or death situation, or I'm trying to leave an area and get back to civilization, that now I've got the confidence in myself to know that I can get through stuff like this. I know that my tools work. So it's a test of tools, it's a test of will, it's a test of confidence. So that's why I do it. Not just to get to a camp spot, but to learn something from it, and hopefully teach you guys something from it as well, that it is possible. And who says tire chains don't work? This was exactly what I was hoping for. To be able to get out here truly deep into the wilderness where nobody else has been for a long time because there's been a lot of snow up here for a while. Right here, literally off our doorstep, is the Nooksack River, which is a glacier-fed river. Just a few miles up the canyons here, it comes directly off the glacier. So this time of year, it's beautifully clear, and in some spots, that emerald green color. So that's our view out the front, and then of course, back behind us, we've got the woods, which is beautifully laden with snow. It's a winter wonderland out here. I watch a lot of bushcraft videos on YouTube, and I've learned a whole lot from them. And one thing is, I see all the guys go out and collect their firewood for their camp and for their meal for the night. And I've always loved that concept. I've always been a little concerned of how one might do that up here in the Pacific Northwest. In the Cascade Mountains, it's everything short of a freaking rainforest. Like, all the trees are covered in moss. It's always wet and rainy. So I figured, you know what, that is one thing that I want to learn about my environment, is push myself to go out and forage the woods for firewood and become more self-sustainable in that aspect. Normally our family has a big pile of firewood on reserve, and so I swing by there and grab up firewood and bring it along for the trip. But this time around, we're gonna grab the axe, we're gonna grab the saw, we're gonna head into the woods and see if we can find ourselves some firewood for the evening. If you're gonna be out here doing this stuff, I think it's something that we should learn how to do. So that's my challenge for myself today. Well, this appears to be dead. We'll chip away at it and see how green it is. I don't think this is a good specimen. Yeah, that's green wood. That ain't gonna work. There's a foot of snow everywhere. We're out of daylight. It definitely becomes more of an uneasy feeling out in the woods when you're still looking for firewood and it's starting to get dark. It'd be a much different feeling had we a fire going at this point. Definitely makes you feel alone out here, that's for sure. But we'll get there. We're out here learning, doing this stuff, bringing you guys along. So we'll figure it out. We'll just keep our wits. We'll get through it. Definitely want to try and find something closer to camp. I don't want to keep pushing further away from camp. It's just going to be harder to get the wood back there. To be honest with you, I know better than this. I know that it's first priority to get firewood so that you're not in the dark doing it. And that is precisely why I got up at 5:30 this morning to start pursuing all this. But we didn't expect the roadblocks that we came across. But you know what? The mountain men and the explorers, they did it once upon a time. That's kind of the cool part about doing this, is getting back to the roots and perhaps experiencing what it must have been like for those guys. But you know what? For some of those guys, there wasn't civilization just a couple miles down the road. They didn't have the shelter of a van that's got diesel heat, light, bedding, gas motor to start and drive out of here. Those guys were on foot, maybe horseback, and they survived stuff like this, so definitely makes you thankful for what we do have. I'm still reminded of that big old fat coyote that was running across the road in front of me. Like I said, it's a reminder that I'm certainly not alone out here. Just gotta be aware of my surroundings and know where I'm at. Be aware of what's around me, noises and stuff like that. So I decided that I'm just going to start small, see if we can get a fire going. A lot of small firewood will work, and I found some stuff that is pretty brittle, which means it's dead, so that's good. Everything's buried, so it's like going at it blind. Dark, not dark, even during daylight, it's the same thing. There we go, jackpot. I think this is going to be good. We'll definitely take this home with us. It's covered in snow, but then again, everything else is. I'm thinking if the inside's dry, we should be good. You guys will probably never believe this, but I shit you not, about 2 minutes before I turned the camera on to film me sawing these logs, I saw headlights coming through the woods, and I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? There's no possible way. Sure enough, truck pulls up, and they get out, and they come over, and they're talking about the trip in here. He looks at the van, he looks at me, and he's like, van life? His son was with him, and he turned and said, YouTube, van life. I'm miles and miles way up into the Cascades here, miles and miles down this road. I made first tracks through a foot of snow. I didn't think I'd see anybody up here. But out of everything, it was somebody that knew me from YouTube. That's just crazy. Anyways, that's cool. They're actually coming up here to go hammock camping. They got hammocks for Christmas and told the wife they were coming up here to come camping in hammocks. I thought I was crazy for coming up here and doing this. Good on you guys. Good on you. I didn't catch your guys' names, but if you guys happen to be watching this video, leave a comment down below. It'd be cool to know who you guys were. I feel bad for not catching your all's names. And yep, there goes another tree in the forest. Either that or Sasquatch is here. A lot of you guys ask if I ever get lonely up here. I tell you what, not having a fire right now definitely brings on the loneliness. It's dark. The snow's starting to fall. There's no fire yet. I'd hate to be in a survival situation right now. I could definitely feel that the panic would want to set in a situation like that. It's good to come up and explore that and understand that and feel what it must be like and imagine what it must be like, because maybe that would prepare you to some extent. So if that situation ever did happen, maybe you could be a little more mentally prepared for it, or physically prepared as well. I actually think we did pretty well on our firewood, guys. It's not a bad stack. I think we might at least get a meal out of it tonight, especially if we can get it to fire. So I'm going to try and chisel off all the outside, get to the center, and hopefully we'll have some dry wood inside there that we can use for kindling. It's actually looking pretty dry. That's better than what I was expecting, so that's good news. This is encouraging. I like this dryness. I showed this knife in my last video. It's made by Travax. It's the Trek field knife. And the nice thing about it is I'm able to get it like razor sharp. So it just makes a really great tool for creating the feathers for starting the fires. It's light, super sharp, and it just gets in there and makes those nice little feathers, which is perfect for this wet wood. It should start a lot easier that way. Okay, this is good. We finally got some heat. So I started putting some of the other sticks in around it just to start drying them out. Just got to keep this thing fed with dry wood as much as possible. If I can get it really going, really hot, then I can just feed the small wet stuff in there. That moisture won't have nothing against that fire. But we just got to get it to that point. Got the Dutch oven hanging. Figured I'd at least get it warmed up, because as soon as this thing's ready, I got to start pumping food through it. So I've got a pretty cool meal that I'm really excited about. It does really well in the Dutch oven. It's fairly simple. We just got to get it cooking, and then we'll let it bake. But we got to get this thing to a point where it's ready to go. I think we're actually making some headway here. This is encouraging. Okay, cool. I improvised a wooden spatula tonight. Because I left my nice bamboo wooden one at the last place that I used it. Forgot that I left it there. So tonight, just using a piece of wood with a nice flat bottom on it. Heck, why not? All gets cooked up. Same. Oh man, I tell you what, I am ready for this meal. It has been a very long day. Clearing those trees definitely took it out of me. With all this snow, I was really skeptical. But check this out. We have actually got ourselves a meal because of firewood that we went out and harvested from the woods around us. I have a feeling this meal is going to taste overly delicious because of all the hard work that it's taken to get here to this spot. I preheated the lid of the Dutch oven. I set it up on top and then I got some coals up there. I'm really hoping that gives us a nice topping on that cheese. It'd be cool if it did a golden brown crust to it. I'm not sure what to expect, but we're gonna find out, that's for sure. Now I don't know about you guys, but I am dying to just take a quick peek in here and see what this thing is doing. Well, that looks dang delicious. Yes, indeed it does. Especially if we can crust that top. That would be freaking cool. Like a good old homemade mac and cheese style crust on top. Mmm. Oh, I'm so hungry. Ha ha ha. There it is. Oh man. That's what I was hoping for. That golden brown. Oh my gosh, I can smell those green chilies. That didn't take long at all to brown up. I'm glad I didn't wait longer because it's already pretty crispy. Oh guys, I'm so hungry. I'm serving up an extra big helping. Look at that cheese, ooey gooey. Yes, please. Dinner is served. That is for sure. Warm up some tortillas. Oh. Oh man. I tell you what, that medium green chili, that's got some bite to it. I don't know how many of you guys have actually tried hominy. It's actually a form of corn. It's used in certain types of Mexican food. Usually you find it in the Mexican section of a grocery store. You know, it doesn't really have a certain kind of taste, but it's got a texture almost like a pasta that's left al dente, but it soaks up the flavor of everything else that it's cooked in, and it ends up just being a really good addition to making something very hearty. My family's been cooking with it for years and years, and it's a perfect addition to a dish like this, all cooked up in a Dutch oven. You know, it kind of reminds me of a really souped up mac and cheese in a way. Got sausage, bacon, mushrooms, potatoes, onions, lots of garlic. Perfect. Even toss them on a tortilla. I love these little van life size tortillas. It's perfect. Street taco style. What a hell of a day. I think something to be proud of is the fact that we accomplished everything we set out to do. And that feels damn good. It makes this meal taste that much better. Well, the great thing about having made such a big portion of this and now having a fridge in the van, I'll be able to throw that in a Tupperware container, throw it in the fridge, and I'm gonna have a few leftover meals for the next few days. So that is a super awesome bonus of having the Engel fridge in the van. That Engel fridge has been awesome. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up this meal, and I actually think I'm gonna call this here Van Adventure a wrap. What a beautiful drive it was this morning, coming out into the snow. It got really, really deep. Had some challenges, had some roadblocks, but how can you beat this? I definitely feel very, very fortunate for the fact that my two-wheel drive Volkswagen Vanagon can get me all the way out here. This is just more than what most people will do even when they've got a four-wheel drive. If you guys have made it this far in the video, consider subscribing. Hit the little bell next to the subscribe button. That'll notify you anytime videos like this are uploaded. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment sections down below. If you guys like this video, definitely hit the like button. By commenting, liking, sharing, all of that stuff helps these videos get out to the masses, and that helps me be able to bring you guys more content. All in all, I just want to say thank you for all of your guys' support. What the channel has been doing over the last few months is so phenomenal. It's something that I never thought could be possible. It just never ceases to surprise me. So thank you to you guys. I really couldn't have done it without you. I'm gonna get out of here, finish up this meal, and then I'm going to hit the hay because it has been a long freaking day. All right, guys, peace out. Keep on trucking. Ah, I'm stuffed. Finito.